Hello out there, it's WaxBadger. I hope you've enjoyed my last two card games. And I'm going to show you another card game. Now, the last two, of course, were more dice-like, but this is going to be more solitaire-like, or a competitive solitaire, I should say. This is a game called Wind Gust. And what Wind Gust is basically it's a game where you're trying to build columns of cards, where you want to try to have as low of a card as you can in the column without losing it in the wind. In other words, basically, the cards ace, 2, 3, 4, and 5 aces are 1. Those cards are worth points. And the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, those cards are not worth points, but they will hold down columns better because they're heavier. The kings, queens, and jacks are not worth any points. They have no face value. But they also have a special property in that a card of the same suit in the same column will be protected if you manage to have that face card in there. And that's a good or a bad thing, as you're going to find out. Okay, so standard 52 deck here. You also need like 4 chips or coins or buttons or checkers, which is what I got here. Poker chips will work too, but anything to mark protected columns, as you will need to do it. I'm going to put these markers to the side and use them when we need them. We'll see if we need them. Alright, this deck has already been pre-shoveled and cut. I'm going to go ahead and deal myself out. And every player plays at the exact same time, but has to stop but does not continue until everybody's locked their cards. I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going to start the 4 columns here by dealing out the 4 cards on the table like this. And alright, so this is what we got. So we got 6, 7, and 8 over here and a queen. The high cards are not worth any points, so we like to try to replace them with lower cards, and it works to our advantage. The queen is there because either this column goes away or it protects something. But you'll also find out that face cards are probably not a good thing to have right at the beginning. You may want to go ahead and replace them with point cards if it's a good idea. Alright, so let's go ahead and deal out a card. Now, every turn, your play, you start with dealing out a card, you get a king. Alright, now of course face cards are worth 0, but more preferable over high cards like this that aren't worth anything, so I'm going to go ahead and take this king, replace it with the 8, like that. 8 is out of the game. Once you take in the card that you just drawn from the deck, you are committed to it for the rest of the round, so you have to lock it like this by putting a card like right there face down. 3 cards left to exchange, and this king is not exchangeable. Okay, let's deal another card. Let's see what we get this time. A 5. Oh yay, we get a point card. Alright, now we gotta decide if do we want to get rid of this, or this. This is the highest of the non-point cards, so the 7 goes out, 5 goes here, and 5 is locked. Alright, 2 cards locked, 2 to go. 6 and queen. Which one? What do we get? An ace. Well, it works to our advantage that the queen is here, so I think we have no problem taking that ace in. We'll replace the 6. And we'll go ahead and lock that column here. So as you can see, either the queen or the king column is probably going to be the one that gets eliminated unless the card of the same suit happens to be where you lock them. Alright, but let's see what happens. Maybe we don't want this queen. Maybe a point card will turn up and we can replace it with that. Another king. Well, okay, it makes no difference whether that's there or not, so we're going to go ahead and reject this card and just go ahead and put it in the column like that. Now, when you reject a card, you have to commit yourself to a card that you have in hand. So in this case, you'd have to choose a card you would want to lock, but we don't have a choice in this case because the queen of diamonds is all we have to lock here. So that's it. So all 4 cards are locked. You wait for the other players to lock their cards, and then once everybody's locked up, the Wind Gust comes through and we reveal these cards. Let's see what we got. Uh-oh, 9 of clubs. I don't like that. There's a 9 here. There's a 10 here. And 7. Okay, well, Okay, so we have a situation where we have a protected column here because you see this king of clubs is a face card matching suit with a nine of clubs. So any face card matching a suit with a card in the same column, it could be another number card, another face card, it doesn't matter. This is a protected column. We have to keep it in the game, at least for now. But we do that by marking it with this one marker here. Okay. Now, let's see, we have a 9, we have 10 here, aces are 1, remember, and we have 7. And this is not a protected column because Queen of Diamonds, 7 of Clubs, not matching suit. This is the lowest unprotected column, so this one goes out. We'll get rid of those cards, just throw them away like that. And now the game continues with the cards that we have, and these are the 3 columns left. The cards in front that are open like this, these are the ones that you can exchange. The cards in back have already been committed to already. You cannot exchange them. You have to leave them alone. So let's hopefully get rid of these 9s. So let's go ahead and draw a card. Let's continue the round here at 10. Ew, we don't want that, do we? We don't want that holding us down and not giving us any points. We want to keep these points over here, don't we? We'll lock this column here. Lock that 4, leave it alone. Let's draw another card, give us something better than that 10. Okay, I would much prefer that. Okay, now we got to be careful what we're doing here. We have to get rid of one. So in order to take this 5, we have to get rid of one of these 9s. But at this point, we might want to either, we might want to go ahead and take the protection off of this here. Because let me show you something. The thing is, even though this is a protected column, we can still get rid of that 9 and remove the protection. And we are probably going to want to do that. So I'm going to do that because, I would much rather, lose 1 point card than 2 point cards. So, because we already know this is a higher value. Now, what we got to concern ourselves with is this 9 over here. And let's hope that the card we draw next is going to get rid of that. Okay, so we lock that up. And let's see what this card is. Another 9. Okay, that's not making any difference for us. And looking at this, we're going to want to keep these suits together because because matching suits, not only matter when it comes to face cards, but it's probably a good strategy to keep matching suits like this in columns because, if you have 2 suits in a column, then that's 6 possible face cards that can lock the column and make your life miserable, or, protect the column and make your life miserable, or in this case, 2 cards of the same suit only assures that only 3 cards could do that. So we don't want this 9. We'll just take the one we have, even though I don't like that. All right. So let's say everybody else finished locking their hands, and the Wind Gust comes through, and we'll reveal these cards. There is a 4. Hopefully we can keep that. There is another 4 right here. That's 13. That's 9. Let's see what this is. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Alright, so unfortunately, this is now a protected column because you see the Jack, 9, Ace, all the same suit. You need at least only 1 card of the same suit in order to protect the column. Or, in other words, the face card and another card. That's just 2 cards. So this Ace could have been a different suit, and the 9 and the Jack, it's still protected. So, but either way, we can't do anything with that column now. So, let's see. King is a different suit from 5 and 4, so that's 9. We can't keep that column, maybe, because 5 and 4 is 9, plus 4 is 13. That's higher than this one. This is the non-protected column, so we have to get rid of this. And actually, that would have been lower than this one anyway, because that's worth 10. So it was doomed. All right. So let's see. At this point, we have 4 point cards in play, 2 columns left. Now we have one last, go around here because you can only have up to 4 cards in a column. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue the game with what we got here. Same as rules of the play. And let's see. We have an ace. Now, that is a point card, but we are probably not going to want to, but here's the thing, I think we're probably going to want to Yeah, we're probably going to want to get rid of that protection on here, this jack here, because I would much rather remove this protection, and keep these two in, because that way this one still remains a higher hand, because right now this is 11, this is 13, and of course pending whatever that's going to be. Now we have to deal with this 4 here. Maybe, let's see, we might want to, we got a 2 here. Okay, so 5 and 4 is 11 and 11. Well, you know what? I think we're going to want to go ahead and reject this 2, because right now we know right now we're seeing higher values with what's revealed. So I'm going to reject the 2 strategically and commit myself to the 4 diamonds. All right, there we go. And now let's see how we did. And everybody else, of course, had their cards locked up. Wind Gust comes through. And let's see, 5, 4, 4, 9. That is 9, 9, 18, 22 here. Ace and ace is 2, plus 9 is 11, plus 7 is 18. This is the lower column, and we've saved 3 point cards. Lost 2 of them, but c'est la vie. It's better to keep 3 than 2. So these 3 cards here are 3 points. So you get 1 point for each point card that you were able to save. And if you had more columns protected, you can have more columns protected, by this point of the game. And the more columns you have protected, the more points you can get in a round. The maximum is 12. These rounds can take a while. It's a good idea, of course. It's a good idea for everybody to play with their own deck. You only want to play with your own deck. You can do this on a video chat easily, playing with your own deck. And everybody compares at the. Well, you don't have to really compare, but they basically just add their scores up, and then at the end of 8 rounds, whoever has the highest score wins. Or you can play to 4 rounds, or you can play to like a point total of 15 points. It's up to you what you want to do. But anyway, hopefully these rules are understandable. We also have written rules in the video description you can link to, and maybe on the video if I can figure that out. Alright, anyway, this is WaxBadger saying thanks for watching. I will see you later. Maybe another card game, maybe another not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Bye-bye.